tracks today.
Yeah. I need them bands, run it up fast, stuffing them shits in the safe. Got me a spot out the way, nigga just tryna be safe. Leaving the house with the glizzy, nigga.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Exactly. Look, it's a chicken and egg thing for me, right? Because I think he developed the court vision. He did the work ethic. He did the passing instincts. He did because he needed to do all of that to make it in the NBA. If any part.
Yeah, he's a lot for the Hall of Fame. Like, he won the best floor general, and then he's a good point guard for OKC. You know, it ain't gonna be the same team, but I feel like they got a solid five with him running the point guard, and I feel like they'd be a good team this year. It'd be an okay team. You know, try to fight for a spot in the playoffs, but it's gonna be tough because it's in the West. We just gotta wait and see how everything gonna turn out for them.
His game was less than 100 in any of those areas, he would not be an NBA player and a lock for the Hall of Fame. So look, I mean, if he had that height, maybe his work ethic would be different. Now, if he was the same Chris Paul with that height, I'd put some money on him. So there you go. Let's get to the Mavericks missing the playoffs for 3 straight seasons. But Luka Doncic is here, and he is confident in his team's chances to turn it around. Here's what Luka said when asked about his plans for this season. Quote, "I always like to say my plans are to win the championship. We'll make the playoffs, though. We must. That's our plan, and I think we'll make it." All right, Doncic saying the Mavs will make the playoffs this season in the West. BS or real talk? Ooh. Man, all right. I know. All right.
Yeah, I feel like they can. Like I just said with OKC. But Dallas, I feel like got a better team than them. So it's going to be tough, though, to try to get in the playoff on the West because there's a lot of good teams on that side. It's like it's a hard time to get in the All-Star game in the West. You know, Luke had a good rookie season, averaging 20 points. So by Kristaps Porzingis coming back, it's going to help him out a lot more. You got another star to go along with you. And I feel like they going to do a lot of pick and roll for get Porzingis to the rim. And I feel like he's a good point guard. You know, and Porzingis space the floor for him. And I feel like he can get a lot of people open. So I feel like, yeah, Dallas got a legit chance to get to the playoffs. It's going to be tough road for them, though. But I feel like they got a good enough team to get there.
Finally, happy Nick. Give it to us.
I'm ready. I think Dallas is ready to take that step.
Okay.
And when you listen to other guys around the league, the other star players, they say Luka Doncic is the real deal.
Yeah.
So if you have him taking another step, losing all this weight this summer, getting better shape, Porzingis comes back, it's always tough off an ACL in that first year, but he can give them something with the core they already have in place. And I think Rick Carlisle is one of the very best coaches in the league. I think they can squeeze in that 7 or 8 seed in the West, but that would mean that the Thunder are long gone because they're rebuilding. But that would mean probably the Spurs may not make it, and the Spurs would appear to be a better team now than where they were throughout most of last season. So it's going to be tough for them, but I think they can do it because of Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I mean, Luka was incredible last season, and if he takes the step that we all expect him to this year, there's no reason why the Mavericks shouldn't be in the playoffs, because if you look at the changing of the West, I mean, there are so many shuffling cards there, and especially towards the bottom. Like Nick said, some of those teams that we've counted on as just being there in the past very well might not be this year. And so I think that combined with bringing in Kristaps Porzingis and this talented second-year guy in Doncic, I just think that that's going to be a recipe for success.
I mean, KP.
If he just take that next step again, like he did his rookie year, and take a bigger step, Dallas could be on a whole nother level. Now you got KP coming back. It's going to even take that step for them a lot more. You know, that's why he re-signed there, because he know he got Luke there, and he's a good point guard. I feel like they is ready to take that next step, man. They missed out on the playoff for like 3 years in a row, and I think that they ready to, take that next step. It just got to see how it play out for them. You know, they got a good team over there to make a run at it. It's just they depending on how Luka Doncic gonna approach it this season. He gonna approach it like his rookie season. We gotta wait and see, but I feel like he is. He gonna take that next step this year. I got that gut feeling that he's gonna, help this team elevate.
More the X factor in this than me. Yes, Luka's going to be good, assuming he continues to enjoy good health. We assume he will build on his great rookie year. He's still going to be a second-year player, and there's still 4 other guys on the court, or when he's not on the court, 5 other guys on the court. I want to know what KP can do. I want to see how much he can hold up his health through the whole season. I want to see those guys work together. But even if all that goes great, I absolutely think they have a chance to make the playoffs. But again, if you say they're going to make it, you have to talk about who you're going to take out. You mentioned the Spurs. Let's just talk about the West. We certainly expect the Clippers to make it.
Right.
I know the Lakers expect to make it. I know the Trailblazers, who made the Western Conference Finals, expect to make it. Denver expects to make it. That's 4. Houston expects to make it. We're up to 5. Utah expects to make it. We're up to 6. Who's my 7th? Golden State. Yes. So,
man, you got to take one of those teams out, man. It's going to be tough to make one of those spots. It's going to be a fight to even get there. It's a race to the playoffs, man. But the West being so tough, you don't know how it's going to play out. There's so many good teams over there. It's hard to get in there. Somebody have to be playing at the end for a spot. I got that feeling that's what's going to happen. Somebody going to have to play for that 7 and 8 seed or even the 6 seed. Somebody gonna get eliminated at the end of the year.
those 7 teams definitely not only expect to make it, but if any of those 7 lose in the first round, we talked about this earlier in the summer, that would be a huge loss for them, and 3 of them by definition would have to lose. So who that 8th team is, there's a lot more than just the Spurs, right? And the Mavericks competing for that spot.
Yeah, but I just don't think any other team besides the ones we've rattled off has the talent to do it. Maybe somebody surprises us, but I think that's where it comes in that 7th or 8th spot. Somebody's got to beat out somebody else, and I think it's going to be Dallas, potentially over San Antonio.
And I'll put one more team in there that I'm sure wants to make a splash, New Orleans.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure the Pelicans will now... Who's had you on their bulletin board? The Timberwolves have had you on their bulletin board. Wolves. Now the Pelicans.
Hasn't had me on the bulletin.
Also, the Sacramento Kings. Don't worry, guys, in New Orleans and Sacramento. And I guess San Antonio, too, since you said they have. I'll send you the video clip. We're good. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be